Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Chris here, and today we're going to be taking a look back at the 1990 U.S. Open final between Andre Agassi and Pete Sampras. This was the first meeting between these two players in a Grand Slam final, and it was also a very interesting time in men's tennis because there had been a series of years where there weren't really any great up-and-coming young American tennis players. And so when Andre Agassi and Pete Sampras finally burst onto the scene, it really brought the spotlight back towards American tennis. Now, in regards to these two players, Andre Agassi was already pretty well known at this point. He had been to two U.S. Open semifinals in 1988 and 89, and he had also lost in the semifinals of the French Open in 88 to Mats Wilander. So he'd had some great success in the slams. He'd also been in the finals of the French Open earlier that year, which he lost to Andreas Gomez. He was kind of regarded as being a young, great, up-and-coming player that just hadn't really had his breakthrough at the moment. Pete Sampras, on the other hand, was basically an unknown player who really came into the spotlight during the course of this tournament. He had to play Ivan Lendl in the quarterfinals, and Lendl was a player that had been to the finals of the U.S. Open for 9 consecutive years. He was a former world number 1. He had been ranked number 1 as recently as I think April of that year, and he was an incredibly difficult player for Sampras. Sampras, was only just turned 19 at the time. He manages to take down Lendl in 5 sets, really establishes a name for himself in this match. Then he goes on to the semifinals and has to play another, legendary player, which is John McEnroe. This is McEnroe's first time back in the semis of a slam in several years, and Pete Sampras took him down in 4 sets. So when he set up this final with Andre Agassi, it was actually really intriguing because you were basically looking at the future of American tennis. And when the match got started, it was pretty clear that Andre was not going to have an easy time of it. He almost lost serve in his very first game, and if it wasn't for a couple of mistakes from Pete Sampras, he would have gone down a break right away to start off this match. Now, Pete Sampras, on the other hand, had a very convincing hold in his first game. He actually missed 100% of his first serves, and he still managed to hold to love. And if you're a tennis player and you're playing somebody and you can't win a single point on their second serve, you know you're in for a tough day at the office. And that's exactly what happened for Andre. He lost the next game, and from there it pretty much cost him the set because he really never had another chance on Sampras' serve. The second set pretty much follows the same pattern, except Pete is even more dominant, and he breaks Andre twice in that set. And, Andre by this point is really looking down the barrel of the gun because he's going to have to try to win the match in 5. And, of course, he's not the type of player that's probably going to be able to do that. But he gets an early opportunity in the third set, and he's, has some breakpoint chances against Pete Sampras. Probably under any normal circumstance, he would have converted on one of those. I think that just the fact that he was down 2 sets to love against a player that he felt he should have been beating, maybe got in his head a little bit and he wasn't able to get the break. But I think even if he had managed to break Sampras, it wouldn't have really changed the outcome very much. If anything, probably Pete would have gotten the break back very shortly thereafter and would have still won in 3 sets. Maybe it could have gone to 4, but I really don't think so based on how well Pete Sampras played throughout the match. It was an almost perfect performance from him, really. And he proved very early on in his career that he was capable of playing at a much higher level than Agassi was. But I think if Andre had been able to really play well, it could have been a great match. It was definitely a very interesting one, but a little bit too straightforward to really be considered a classic. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I am planning on doing more of them in the future. Please leave me a comment and let me know what you'd like to see next. And thanks again for watching. I will see you at the next one.